We've looked at solving systems of equation using substitution. Now, we're going to look at solving a system of equation using elimination with addition and then subtraction. So our new vocabulary is elimination. When we eliminate a variable, we're going to cancel out that variable so we can solve for the other variable. Here are the steps on solving a system of linear equation using elimination. Step 1. Write the system so like terms with the same or opposite coefficients are aligned. Add or subtract the equations, eliminating one variable. Then solve the equation. Substitute the value from step 2 into one of the equations and solve for the other variable. Write the solution as an ordered pair. Step 4. Check your work by testing the solution in the equation you did not use in step 3. Please make sure you get these steps copied down. If you need to, pause the video. We are going to use elimination to solve the system of equations. Since the coefficients of the x terms, -3 and 3, are additive inverses, you can eliminate the x terms by simply adding the equations. So if we take a look here, we have the two equations. Notice my like terms are all aligned. The x's, the y's, and the constant terms. I'm going to add the two equations together. Since -3x plus 3x gives us 0, the x terms in this equation are eliminated. I can then add together the next terms, 4y plus -6y, so we get -2y, and we add together our constant terms, 12 plus 18, and we get 30. We now can solve for y by dividing both sides by the coefficient of -2. We get y equals -15. We have now solved for one of our variables. The next step would be to substitute the answer, y equals -15, into one of the equations to solve for x. So I'm going to use the first equation, which was -3x plus 4y equals 12. So I'm going to rewrite the equation, and I'm going to substitute in -15 for y. So we have -3x minus 60 equals 12. I'm going to move the constant term to the other side of the equation to isolate the variable. Divide both sides by the coefficient. I'm going to use the second equation to check. This time I'm going to substitute in both values. So I have -24 and -15. So when I substitute in -24 for x into the equation and -15 for y in the equation, I can simplify. -72 plus 90, and that does give us 18. So we know we've solved the system correctly. So the solution of -24, -15 is the correct answer. Try to solve this system on your own. I will give you 2 minutes. Okay, that was 2 minutes. So let's look at solving this system. So the system is already aligned for us with our like terms set on top of each other. So we can add the two equations together. So if I add 3x plus 3x plus 2x, we get 5x. Negative 5y plus 5y gives us 0y, so these are going to cancel. Bring down the equal sign, 1 plus 9 is 10. Divide both sides by the coefficient 5, and we get x equals 2. Again, I'm going to choose the first equation to substitute 2 in to now solve for y. So I have the first equation is 3x minus 5y equals 1. I'm going to substitute in 2 for x. So I have 3 times 2 minus 5y equals 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Rewrite the rest of the equation. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. That way I can isolate my variable term, negative 5y. 1 minus 6 gives me negative 5. Divide both sides by negative 5. And we solve for y equals 1. So now I found that x is equal to 2, y is equal to 1. I can write that as an ordered pair. We always write ordered pairs in alphabetical order inside parentheses. So I have the solution 2, 1. Our final step is going to be to check that solution in the second equation. So my second equation is 2x plus 5y equals 9. So we have the new equation, 2 times the x value, 2, plus 5 times my y value of 1. Does that give us 9? 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. So we know that our answer, 2, 1, is the correct solution to this system of linear equations. So if you chose answer choice B, you were correct. We're also going to need to solve word problems when we have systems of linear equation. 4 times one number minus 3 times another number is 12. That would give us one equation. 2 times the first number added to 3 times the second number is 6. Find the numbers. So we're going to write two equations here. Let x represent the first number and y represent the second number. So we have 4 times 4x, one number, minus 3 times another number, 3y, is equals 12. Our second equation, 2 times the first number, 2x, added to 3 times the second number, 3y, is 6. Now that we have two linear equations, we can solve using elimination. Wrote the equations in column form and add. The y variable is eliminated. When we divide each side by the coefficient 6 and simplify, we find that x is equal to 3. So we can substitute that 3 into either equation to find the value of y. I use the first equation again to get a y value of 0. So we now found that the two numbers that satisfy this system are 3 and 0. Now let's do some practice problems.